Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Onsite and Offshore, a dedicated podcast for professionals involved in offshore projects, where we chat with business owners, project managers, analysts, software developers who have successfully supported their overseas clients from India, and also connect with entrepreneurs who outsource the work to offshoring firms. I'm your host Suresh Ashok, founder of Onsite and Fintech, with a passion for selling and supporting offshoring projects. In today's episode of the Onsite and Offshore Talk, I have Mr. Thilak Raju, the founder and CEO of Maxify and Thilak Services, as our guest. Thilak embarked on his professional path as a network and system engineer before seamlessly transitioning into the role of a data warehouse developer. Presently, he successfully manages two thriving businesses, boasting an impressive career that spans over 20 years. Throughout his journey, he had the privilege of working and providing support to some of the top companies globally. Welcome to our show, Thilak. How are you doing today?
Suresh, I'm doing really great. How are you doing?
Fantastic. First of all, thanks for giving your time on Saturday. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for this offer. So I would be really happy to address it today.
Thanks, Thilak. Let me begin by asking you, when did you start working on offshoring projects? Do you recall your first client and task? I mean, this is a standard question I ask everyone since the theme of the podcast, which we started, is to interact with people who have supported overseas clients or who sell their product to overseas clients. So do you recall your first client and the task when you were exposed to international audience?
So you're going to, recall all my history. I'll be happy to answer. Okay. Anyway, it was in the year of 2007, actually. I was working for Verizon. I just recently joined at the time, and I was introduced to a client called Jim. His name is James Muller or something. I was .NET developer at that time, pretty new. My first task was like to pull out some data from the database, and he gave all basic tasks to check where I was and what I do and how I perform on all those. I mean, as the day goes, it was like quite impressive to work with him. So that is my first experience.
Right. So that was for a client based in US or out of
Yeah,
UK?
they are from US actually. Verizon has a setup in offshore in India, and they are based out of US.
Right. So how did you feel at that moment of time? Like, straight out of college and were exposed to international audience. Were you comfortable, or did you do any preparation to, make yourself comfortable? Or what was the guidance from your team?
Really not. Went unprepared, and it was quite new to understand the accent first of all, and it was pretty new to talk to an American. But he was quite accommodative, so he tried to accommodate me, and he was trying to make me like really comfortable. And he said that's okay, just move on. So it's pretty new experience altogether. But my team was quite supportive, and they were prepping me up with the questions that he is going to ask and how he is and what kind of role that he is doing there and all those. So, but team here and there, both on both sides, they have been so super supportive with me.
Right. And you completed your engineering in 2004, and you directly started as a network engineer, right? Network infrastructure and system maintenance.
Correct.
Then you moved to a developer role. Is that correct?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Now, how did the transition happen? Because for someone who was like managing a request over the phone, then moving to as a data warehouse developer or a .NET developer, how difficult the transition was, Silak?
Actually, it was all accident. So let me I explain you what my past is. I studied engineering. I was my passionate is to become a developer at that time. I was thinking like I was a serious developer, but right now, no. At that time, I was thinking developer is a high profile role that I want to really perform there and explore more of that. But my father ended up with a lot of debt, so I had no choice other than paying back my loan interest. So I went and joined Sutherland for 3 months, and they trained me in networks and systems a bit. And they trained me in English as well, which I felt impressive. On top of that, they paid for 3 months. With that, I solved my bank interest problem, so I paid it off. With all that hopes, I was somehow trying to become a developer then, but I got an offer from ADP, which was like a prominent company in US, and they interviewed me from Hyderabad. They questioned me everything for the developer role, and by then I went and joined in the year of 2004. out of 12 people joined on the same day. They made me sit on the system and network, and I was like quite surprised. Why are you making me sit here? I was like trying to pursue a role of developer. So they said, no, this is where the vacancy is. So I was accidentally landed there. So, but it is not out of passion, but I gave my fullest in that role. I learned a lot in that. Even now, I'm running a company. We have around 60 plus people working with me here and there. But still, that system and network still helps. So, if someone asks me to solve something on that, I can at least do a basics of it, and I try to do some evaluation in that.
Fantastic. That's good to know, Thilak. But Thilak, in terms of learning from a transition from a system infrastructure engineer to a data warehouse developer, what kind of learning did you go through? I'm sure that would be difficult, right? I mean, anyone who wants to switch their career, what kind of activities did you do to become a developer?
Yeah, that's a good question. At the time, people felt that my entire career is going to be with system and networks, but I was not feeling the same. I was like continuously trying to become a developer, and I went and approached many managers over there, but they were asking me, "What is your experience? How do you do it?" And all those questions. Likewise, like 6 months have gone, so I had to make some decision. So what I did is I went to one of the manager and I told them that there are several shifts system and network engineers generally do. So I asked him to put me in early morning shift that starts around 6 o'clock and ends by 4. So I can concentrate more on development learning. And my second day, that means after 4 o'clock, I used to go to one of the institute nearby, and I used to train myself in that. And with all those experience, I developed a small project which impressed another manager, and he gave me an offer to join as a developer. So that was like, I mean, what to say? It's all like a marathon run. I can say it's not that easy.
So, I've been approached by many people, the younger folks who want to become a Java developer. They're in testing or they're into some other field. They want to become a developer because the attraction towards a developer and the pay scale, which they think is pretty high compared to any other career. So, what advice or suggestion would you offer to them?
Think I can tell you one thing. Without being like so passionate about development, I would rather suggest not to step into that only just because that the pay scale is more. So unless until you are super passionate and you're, I mean, trying to learn yourself and want to pursue a career and try to prove something on that and change a bit on the industry. So I would rather say it is not really worth it to take. But I feel that doing a developer role carries more weightage in any project. Always there in limelight, so that role has been given a lot of importance as well. Maybe I would definitely can tell one thing. Without the passion, there won't be any learning at all. So check yourself: are you really passionate for the role, and you want to learn something on the technology, and then move on.
Right. Oh, well, that's a suggestion which I give. I've had people who are from sales background or just completed something. And I think this Java is the Java developer. There's just many training centers in Chennai, which kind of promises become a Java developer will put you in, 100% job placement. I keep telling them, listen, that's not going to work out. At the end of the day, development is a tough job. So if you're into sales or marketing, then all of a sudden, or being a functional consultant, then moving to development, it's going to be a tough ask. Think about it 10 times before you switch your career to something else.
Exactly.
And Tilak, you had the opportunity to work for some big global companies, ADP, Cognizant, Verizon, PayPal, and TCS. I mean, how did you end up clearing all these interviews, all for these big companies? And among these experience, which role did you find most enjoyable, and which one presented the greatest challenge for you?
For ADP, I would say that the interview is not that tough to crack because that's my first company. But
Right.
remaining all, as the cash goes, as the designation goes higher and higher, the number of rounds of interviews and the intensity was like pretty high. I mean, with knowledge, yes, we can able to definitely address it, and with more than knowledge, with experience, definitely we can able to crack any kind of interview. That's more important. And the role that they are looking for and the expertise that you have should match. That's what I feel. And the among my experience, I would say that the role that I really enjoyed is the people. Paper, I was performing as a release management role, and that's quite sensitive job because I'm totally responsible for deploying all the codes in the. I and my team, in fact, were responsible to deploy all the codes in the production. Without our approval, nothing moves on to production. That's how we were. But if something goes wrong, our head is gone there, and tomorrow we might be a limelight in the media as well. So we used to check, double check, triple check. Every time when we deploy the code, we did a lot of automation on that to have complete check over there. That's pretty sensitive area. And PayPal being a fintech company, anything, even $1 will create a huge impact. You know that well, even fraction of dollars, in fact. So we used to test a lot before we deploy something into production. Quite sensitive role there.
Tilak, I asked this question to all my guests. I had some good guests, Vinay and Ashwin, Vijay. This is a new podcast. Do you think the offshore team gets enough credit for the kind of work we do from India? The reason I'm always excited to, get the perspective of the other person is I'm into sales, so I interact with lots of people. Still, there is some, concern for international organization to outsource the work to India. What's your take on it? What do you think?
See, I mean, first of all, offshore gets a credit or not? To answer that question, I would say that it is not 100% because even I'm running companies. Unless
Right.
until I go meet people directly, I'm not getting that connect at all. After COVID, we definitely got restricted moving to various different parts because people slowly started doing hybrid jobs, sitting at home and working. So meeting people has become like much lesser when compared to earlier days. But direct connect is always better. So with that, if somebody's sitting in on-site, they'll have more connect with the client. So with that, people always think that my nearest person is doing much more help than the person who is sitting somewhere else in the world. So that to answer that to first question, that is my answer. What
Right.
is the next question?
Well, do offshore team gets enough credit for the kind of work we do, the huge development project, the ERP implementation, so many kind of work we execute from India. You think like our team gets enough credit from India?
To some extent, yes. To a larger extent, no.
Okay. And like for someone who's just starting out in the IT industry, what guidance or suggestion would you offer? Like just take you want to guide someone, a fresher who's just out of an engineering college and he's clueless, and what suggestion or advice, proper career path would you want to, guide?
Okay. In my era, like in the year of, I graduated in the year of 2004. I came fresh from college and passed on my resume to more than 100 companies in and around Chennai. And we went to Bangalore and gave our resumes. Nothing clicked. And after getting into the industry was totally different than what we have gone through in the college. It was like there is no sync at all. But right now, there are plenty of opportunities. Even in my office, people from college they do internship for more than I mean even the college is permitting to go and do internship for a year, and they're getting paid, and they're getting very good experience. They almost like become 1 year software engineer experience or whatever they are, test engineers, anybody in that. I would rather say instead of I mean completely graduating, waiting to join in a company, I can definitely say to check your passion on getting into the IT industry. This is the best test phase I can say. The final 1 year is a golden period for you. Come test yourself. There are plenty of companies giving an offer right now to do internship programs. Much useful, very useful. Earlier, internship means like coming to offers, sit for 3 months and just go back. It is not the case right now. People are coming here and working with the experienced developers, testers, DevOps engineers. That's a beautiful experience that you're gonna get. So with that, you can slowly determine what's your passion on. I mean, what you're doing and how you can map yourself to a particular role, how the technology works, and you can keep updating yourself on the technology for the 1 year. So this 1 year, definitely, I would say that it's a golden period which we didn't get, but these era people are definitely getting it. I would say that newcomers can definitely use this.
Well, that really makes sense because someone who gets an opportunity to interact with the live team, like performing the task,
Right.
I think that would surely make a big difference. I think that's a very good, valid point because, Tilak, I mean, I can't imagine like someone who just completed engineering and directly getting an opportunity to work on live project. I think that's That's fantastic, Tilak. And Tilak, which five technology fields do you believe are worth concentrating for the next 5 to 10 years?
Okay. Instead of five, I would quote three. On that
Hmm.
three, there are many subdivisions. The first thing is AI is going to take over. So everywhere we are talking about AI, no doubt on that it is going to take over the industry, and many jobs are going to get. I mean, going to get run along with AI. Not that it is going to replace the people, but many people are going to use AI. That's the. I mean, with ChatGPT and all those, even the common man, without even having computer knowledge, started using AI now. So even for our chatbots, like we have our, I mean, what to say, our websites. Earlier, we used to have one person sitting and doing the support. Right now, we feed everything, every data into AA, and AA is doing predominant support for most of the people. And after, I mean, to some extent, if A couldn't answer, then it comes to human. So I feel that A is one important thing that is going to emerge. Second is the automation. Even we did automation on many areas earlier. I mean, any industry would do manual things, which is time consuming. I mean, sometimes monotonous work, and most of the time clerical errors. With all those, automation has taken over. So automation is another industry. And the third one is data. With data, there are many subdivisions. But like 10, 15 years back, there is no storage spaces, and storage is expensive. But right now, storage is not that expensive, and data is everywhere now. So how do you use the data is the biggest advantage for any company. Data is gold, according to me. So inside data, there are so many areas like what to say for getting the insights and utilizing the data, reusing the data for rebuilding the customer. Anything that comes out of data is going to be like a goal for anybody.
Right. So you mentioned three things: AI, automation, and data. Right.
Yeah,
So, any example of you using your organization or your team using AI for their day-to-day activities?
yeah, I told you right for the
A
chat
chatbot. Okay. Okay.
for
Fine.
chatbot we are using AI actually.
Right. And for the automation stuff, is it something you do, or that's for completely
Yeah,
for a different team?
automation, we automated many processes here. So, I mean, human-centric areas, wherever we find there is automation
Mhm.
have to play a role, we automated many things. With that, we do, I mean, usually humans, I mean, whomever works in the office, they generally have a tendency that if automation comes, that will replace somebody. No, it is not.
Right.
You have to upgrade yourself. See, earlier there were bullock carts. Right now, it is all cars. Future, we don't know. So
Yeah.
it is all like going to transform. Earlier, you need to know how to drive a bullock cart. Right now, if you know bullock cart, how to drive a bullock cart, it doesn't make sense. Right now, you need to know how to drive a car. In future, we don't know what next. So you need to know what exactly you need to fit in. So you need to upgrade yourself and just move on with automation.
Fantastic. And what led you to start your own business? You managed two businesses, right? Maxify and Thilak Services.
Correct. So my passion on business was like from my childhood, I can say. I even remember I tried selling a few balloons. I
Mhm.
still remember selling some CDs in my college days. I mean MP3 CDs in my college days, and record notebooks. I used to print and send it in college days. So I don't know the word and terminology called entrepreneur at that time, but I was trying to become an entrepreneur, all short and small. So my passion for business is like from my childhood, and my father is from business background. Maybe due to that, I don't know, but I was trying to solve something in the real life challenge. I was trying to solve something from my business or trying to add some value to the customers. This is what in my mind for plenty of time. And coming to the business, there is one big thing that I can say. You can play in your own space instead of like working for somebody. If you have your own business, you have I would rather say it like it is not a own set of rules that you want to frame for your business, but we all have, I mean, more or less the same rules for most of the business, but you will have more space to play around. If you have a different idea to go and check, validate whether it works or not, you have a space. And when you have want to pivot the product to upside down, you can do it. But it is not the case when I work somewhere.
And both the companies have distinct different offerings. Tilash specializes in e-commerce, while Maxify aids automating debt collection. Can you explain more about your products and benefits they provide to the customers?
Sure. Kailash has been started like 8 years back.
Yeah.
And my partner started. I want to really appreciate my partner. He has been with me for the last 20 years,
Mhm.
and we failed in four businesses before that. And even we never said, we never pointed fingers. We were always together and always traveled together for the last 20 years. And he didn't study with me. He's not my childhood friend. He's my friend who I met when I was trying to attend an interview. So we got like gelled each other, and even now he is with me, and I feel that ever he is going to be with me. And for the 8 years we are
Would you
running,
like to drop his name, Tilesh?
his
Wait,
name his
Tilesh.
name is Ashraf, and
Ashraf.
my
Okay.
name is Tilak. That's what the Tilash name is.
Oh, okay. Nice.
THIL stands for Tilak, and the
Nice.
AZ for Ashraf.
I'll
So
talk to him separately. I'll also invite him for the next session.
definitely you can do that. He is a very interesting person.
Right.
He's American now, but very busy in fact. But definitely you would be happy to have a
Sure.
talk with you.
Sure.
And I mean, for the last 8 years, I mean, before 8 years, we did different businesses, and somehow we were doing export business at that time, and we were doing commodity trading,
Mhm.
and we were exporting the rice to Singapore, Vietnam, and Malaysia. But computers were not involved in export business quite extensively. But we thought that our strength is with computers. So we
Mhm.
thought, what makes computer and export merge together? That's how we found that Amazon business is the best one. So we started Amazon business, started selling the products in US, and then slowly we started taking courses, and we created 2,000 entrepreneurs with that course. And one fine day, the course went on live in torrent, and number of customers coming to our course got reduced. But we never gave up. Like we thought that what is our next strength? We thought that software is our next strength. So what makes export computers, that means software, merged together? So we thought that why not we create software for Amazon sellers? So that's what we are doing till today. So we are doing software and services for Amazon sellers. We touched more than 14,000 customers so far in Tilash.
Wow. Okay.
And with McAfee, the goal is entirely different. One of the person who was working with me in Tilash, he's extremely good, and his name is Abdullah. He's extremely good in technology. And one of my friend, with another friend who was like really good in product making, we all four got together, and we were like thinking what we can do it. But one real life problem that we faced, that my father faced and my previous ages faced, but none of them realized what the problem is. That is account receivable problem. Even my father had the same issue. I told you my father went into debt,
Right.
right?
Right.
So yeah, I would never say that he ran the business wrong. He always did right. He created more value to customers, and he always delivered his best. But he failed to collect the cash. Instead of collecting the cash which was outstanding, he was collecting. I mean, he lent the money from others, and he started paying debt, started paying interest for the debt. So with that, he ended up with a lot of debt. But this problem was like not highlighting in his mind. So none of the previous era people realized that this is a major problem. Account receivable is a problem, and even I was stuck with that account receivable, and I couldn't able to when I was going legal, I couldn't able to go and give all the proof all in one go, because it was not centralized, and it was not like what to say, streamlined process. So we thought that we have every expertise to do that. Why not we start doing this as a product? So right now we created a SaaS product called Maxify. It is account receivable automation product. It is like going to tap the industry for sure, because we did a product completely into SaaS model, whereas the competitors didn't do it that way and automated. And so far, with the last 3 4 months, we collected more than $2 million using Maxify.
Wow. Fantastic. That sounds great. So, Tilak, can you share any specific instances where your product or service made a positive impact on a customer? I mean, starting from what was the need? I'm sure you would have interacted with your potential prospect, now client, to understand the challenges and what offering you made and what was the requirement and what was the end outcome.
Okay, I told you it is all like SaaS products.
Right.
So I mean, the positive impact that we make is the time. So time is gold for everybody. So which cannot be returned once it is spent. So
Right.
we cut short the time pretty long. I mean, what to say? Our product definitely cutting short the time for Amazon sellers with the products and service that we do in Tilash, and with MaxiFi, definitely like 70% of resources time will be saved by using automation. So this is one real positive impact that I can definitely be proud of.
Okay. And you have a global customer base, right? Predominantly in the US. And do you sell to UK audience or?
Yeah, predominantly US, UK, and we have a global audience, in fact.
And how do you
For
effectively promote and market or sell your product to an international audience?
Okay, we do digital marketing.
Right.
Predominantly through digital marketing. Right now, you don't have to. Not like old ages, like you have to go and sell to somebody.
Right.
Unless until there is a necessity, we don't even meet clients. We don't even meet most of the customers. They just come see the ad and they got drive into the website and they'll go through the positives and negatives. They do the comparison. Everything they can sit in one computer and they can purchase and they can start using the service. 90 percentage it is all through digital conversions.
Right. And so once you get the lead, who takes care of which team gets actively involved and then who understands the requirement and who comes up with the solution for the client?
See, in SaaS product, there is no such thing called understanding the requirement. So
Right.
it is
Yeah.
all pre-built.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what you offer to your customer is already
Known to the
detailed in the
person. Yeah.
website
Yeah.
and in every area. So all you have to do is you have to just come whether it fits your needs or not.
Mhm.
That customer will always obviously check that. And to answer your question, what's your question? I'm sorry, I really
No,
forgot.
in the sense, which other team actively get involved? Like,
Okay,
let me,
actively
yeah,
getting
yeah, go
involved.
ahead.
Yeah. Initially the chatbot takes a bit of control over the customer engagement. After that, the customer support team takes care of that, and closing is always the sales.
Yeah.
So, we don't have implementation or we don't have anything to develop specific to the customers. We already pre-built the tools based on the industry needs. That's what I feel.
No, fantastic. And what sets your product or your business apart from others in the industry?
Okay. We always create a value to the customer that I can definitely say that it for any business value addition to the customer stands tall and through word of mouth definitely after adding the value people will not stop by restricting themselves recommending your product and the integrity that we build with the customer is like unmatchable when we compare to the competitors.
Right. I think at what point did you look at your business and consider it a success? Because when you started it, what was the team size for both the Thilash and Maxify? And I believe you guys have 100 plus team now. Can you talk about that phase, like how you grew your team members and reached this level of success?
Excellent. So we start with two. I told you always Ashraf is with me.
Oh,
So we
you and
start.
Ashraf for the two.
Hi,
Yeah,
Ashraf.
okay, okay.
I don't even have a desk at that time. I was sitting, I still remember I was sitting in my bed and I was with one computer and I was doing it. Same goes with Ashraf. He was in US. We were the same. Then we grew, we hired our first employee. And right now, it is like exponentially grown. That's what I
Okay.
feel. And you asked about the goals. So you said, you asked,
Just for initially, the first year, you said you had just one resource. It's more or less you and Ashraf, and you hired one. And now, what is the strength, your team strength, your total team strength for both Maxify and Thilak services?
we have around 40 plus
Right.
you're sitting in office, and there are around 20 plus as a contract employees.
Fantastic. Sounds good. Yeah. Keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. And you asked what is a success? So
Right.
success always it is not like a one day goal or something to decide. Success always differs according to me. There is always a milestone which we used to check. But right now the milestone that we have for Tilash is touching at least minimum I told you 14,000 customers. So our goal is to touch minimum 1 lakh customers a month. So that's
Wow.
what our goal is. And with Tilash touching 1 million monthly recurring revenue is the goal. that we are currently working for. I would not say I would never say that is even success. That is one milestone that we have. Success always like keep growing as you win.
I wish you and Ashraf all the best and your entire team, Tilesh. I'll be happy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and Tilesh, and what guidance or recommendation would you offer to aspiring entrepreneurs in India? I know it's challenging. Could you provide us some actionable steps, like establishing your own company? If you want to highlight some top 5 areas that one should prioritize after launching their business.
Okay. After launching the business, definitely someone who is really passionate going to step into the entrepreneurship. Without that, nobody will be willing to take that risk. Actually, I would say that definitely check the product whether it is fitting into the market. Product market fit is really important. Check the ICP. ICP is ideal customer profile. So whether you have the ideal customer to buy your product, this is very important. These are the mistakes that we have done earlier. So check your USP. So, what is your unique selling point that you have when you compare with the competitors? What is your unique selling point? I want them to check that. And I would say that instead of starting really big, start very small and grow big.
Right. So let me recollect. The first thing you said was create a product which suits the market fit, or there is some requirement for that, even
Correct.
if there is multiple competition. Correct.
Correct.
And second thing is identifying your target audience, your demography,
Demographic,
and I missed out the third one. Like say that again.
USP,
Oh,
unique selling,
USP, unique selling points. Okay,
unique
fantastic.
selling point. What differs from your competitor? So, what is a unique selling point in your product? And finally, I would suggest that rather starting really big, start small and grow big.
Fantastic. And you also have a registered office in the US. So for someone who is ran a business in India for 2 3 years and wants to establish or create a presence in the US, and you also have a presence in the Gulf, what factors should Indian companies consider when establishing an office overseas?
Okay. We have our customer base in US, so that's the main reason we started in US.
Right.
And starting a office in US is not like India. It's not a lengthy process. It is just 2 days. People think that creating an office in US is a big deal. No, never. With EA and employee identification number, which you can sit here and give a call to US agencies and you can register that. It is not like a big thing to create an office in US. But that should be a purpose. You cannot like pride to say that we have an office in US. No, unless
Yeah.
until you have a need, I would rather say that not to step in. So we have a need, so we start creating a office in US, and I have my partner sitting there, and there is a purpose there. So check the purpose.
So once you started getting in new clients from the US, you felt that there should be office over there. It's not a mandatory thing, as you said, or any great thing for you to have an overseas office just for the sake of it. It's just that there are clients, and you have to support the clients from your local office.
Exactly. And our customer base is in US. So
Okay.
generally US people likes more likes to interact more when they have a base in US. So that's a main reason we started there.
Right. And Tilak, something like which I was curious to know from you. What are the potential unicorns in India that you want to invest in? I've noticed that many of the founders of these successful unicorns originate from specific educational institution. What's your take on that?
Okay. I would say that I'm not investing too much in any of so I don't have very
Okay.
good knowledge about the investment to be honest with you. But
Right.
to answer your second question, I found the same thing. Like many founders are from IIT, IIM background, so maybe you are trying to explain that. I would say that they are all taught practically instead of theoretically. I told you right, that is a big gap for me from engineering passed out to the industry, IT industry. That is a big gap. That gap has been filled for most of them, and
Right.
they are failing fast and failing forward. That means they are trying something while they study, and when they fail, they move forward and to the next step. So this and also when we were in studying BE,
Mhm.
the fresh B graduates used to take the classes. That means they are called as professors, but they hardly have a knowledge about what is going on in the industry. But the premium colleges, I would say that IIM, IIT, those colleges, I heard that the industry experts are taking the classes. So
Mhm.
the industry knowledge is directly forwarded to them. And also there is a huge networking and mentorship. We are saying that I mean we are saying from outside that everything happens on its own. No, without networking, without guidance, without mentorship, it never happens. So it all merging together, that is the main factor. Winners get winning, and they motivate other people from the same college, and they keep them moving. So that's how it works.
Yeah, I was shocked as well. I went through some data. I was surprised as well. There are specific institutions producing more entrepreneurs as unicorns.
We're not
You know,
entrepreneurs at all. We're producing unicorns these days.
yeah, big, big. And Tilak, what websites or portals do you frequently browse to follow your industry news or on the latest technology? Do you have any specific portals you follow on a daily basis? For example, you wake up, you start reading about it. Any newspaper or portals which is available in the public domain?
Okay. I'm not a guy who always get too much updated to the news. I would rather go whatever comes to my plate. If I have to learn something, there is always Google, so I just go do Google and read. If I
Right.
have to learn something in a streamlined way, in a structural way, I would definitely suggest Udemy for that. It is one fantastic portal actually. It is like a mini university sitting there.
And the price is also very
Yeah,
nice with Udemy. It's not too
exactly.
expensive, like to pick up
Just
any
with
skill. Yeah.
499 you can go fantastic courses. Starts with
Yeah.
499. I would definitely
Yeah, so
say
at least, and it's not that they're offering some cheap stuff with that competitive pricing. The kind of, if
sure,
I
sure.
have to subscribe to some course, especially in the sales or marketing side or LinkedIn, I go through it, the content like which they offer, it's really good for the pricing. It's not something because just it's cheap, they're not doing or producing any good content. They show really good courses available in Udemy.
Exactly. Worthy investments. Every month, I mean, we used to set something aside, I mean, some budget for Udemy actually.
Right. Fantastic. So you kind of promote that as a culture in your office to keep upgrading, keep doing some basic level certification on a monthly basis.
Yes, we have a learning and development program running here. We have a tool for that, and we created a repository, and people can go over that anytime and they can start browsing it over. And on top of that, if they are really willing to do something on the course, we are very happy to encourage them.
Fantastic. And Tilak, in the beginning of the conversation, you said doing intern is something which you always advise youngsters or someone who's starting out a career. Is it something which is open in your office now at this moment of time? Like you're, hiring interns for the next 3 months or something like that. Is it a pipeline for your
Yeah, it's
organization?
always on, so it depends on the requirements, but it is always on. I mean, I can see people coming and going, so always on.
Fantastic. And what do you do over the weekend? What do you, because the industry you're working, I think whenever offline I tried interacting with you, most of the time you're traveling and occupied with client meeting and all. So what do you do over the weekends and how do you take frequent break from work to recharge and rejuvenate yourself?
Okay. My recharge is again a business. So
Uh-huh.
my wife runs a cafe, organic cafe.
Wow. Okay.
So I used to support her during my Saturdays
Hmm.
and half of my Sunday, and rest of half of the Sunday goes with my kids. And even on Saturday when I go to a cafe, I'll take my kids along with them. I really love spending time with them. And I recharge, get recharged when I play with them, and I go for some kind of physical activity, like kilometer ride of cycling or playing shuttle, and taking a short break here and there during Saturdays, which we cannot afford during the weekdays. So that's how my Saturday Sunday goes. And I'm not a kind of guy who travels more, so most of my time goes with business.
Okay. Sorry, I took your time on Saturday. I'll leave you
That's
another
all.
shot.
Anyway, today I'm working, so most all the Saturdays I really work.
Right. And Dilip, where you put your money on investment. I mean, I ask this to all my guests. The reason is I didn't get any guidance when I wanted to invest. I had no idea about it. My thought process was simple. I would make money any point of time, which was which was not true. So what kind of investment planning you have for you go for stocks or real estate or purchase of gold? And a simple guidance you want to give to someone who's starting out the career fresher. Listen, no matter what money you make, you need to save so and so percentage of amount every month. You will see the result after you complete 30 years or 5 years or in 10 years of time.
I would say that real estate is a very good investment, but that cannot be done on monthly or
Right.
I mean yearly basis. But before that, I mean before you switch over to go and purchase something in the real estate, I would rather say parking your money in gold or in stocks, not to a larger extent in stocks, will carry more returns. That's what I feel.
Fantastic. And are you someone who have a set morning and night routine that you love following, or
Sorry, I lost
no?
you.
Are you someone who have a set morning and night routine?
Yeah. My morning routine starts with a bit of stretch and meditation,
Mhm.
and I induce physical exercise anytime in the morning or in the evening. And before going night, I would definitely not take my mobile out for last 30 minutes. I hear a lot of podcast or some informative YouTube channel, but only through the Bluetooth speaker. I'll not take the mobile out. And again, night I do some stitches and my days goes off. And my food is very highly disciplined. So it's all like follow the, schedule on a daily basis. That is my routine.
You want to thank your wife for that,
Yeah,
maintaining the hygiene.
she's wonderful at that.
Fantastic. And like, how often you travel abroad? Any experience of meeting clients abroad? Because you have such a huge base now. So how frequently you travel every year?
These days, the travel is very limited after
Limited.
COVID.
Right.
So before that, I used to travel many countries. I traveled several countries like US,
Mhm.
Australia, Singapore, Dubai, New Zealand, Hong Kong. I mean, many countries. Meeting people is always a pleasure. I love interacting with people.
Thilak, it was pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I've learned a lot from you during this conversation, and I'd love to continue. And I'd like to book another meeting with you and Ashraf together, maybe in the next coming episode, so that we can talk about things in details. Once again, thank you. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, Suresh. Thank you very much for this opportunity. The name of the talk show is something different, on-site and offshore
Yeah.
podcast. But what I covered is more of entrepreneurship. I'm
Right.
really happy that you accommodated me, and I really like bring Ashraf once again into this
Yeah.
podcast. It is a good initiative. Not many people are doing these days. Out of the time that you are doing your job and other activity, you are trying to accommodate this, which is really appreciated. So thank you very much, Suresh, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Thilak. Appreciate it. Have a good day. Cheers. Take care.
Cheers. Take care.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Onsite and Offshore podcast. We hope you found our conversation insightful and engaging. And remember, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. That way, you'll never miss an episode and will always be up to date with the latest insight and discussion. We love hearing from our listeners, so please don't hesitate to reach out with any question, comments, or feedback. You can find us on social media or shoot us an email. Goodbye and take care.